Praise be Jesus Christ and Mary Immaculate. Welcome to this first Sunday of Advent. We're going to read from the Gospel of Mark, chapter 13, verses 33 to 37. It's pretty short. We're going to read it in its entirety, and then we'll make a comment. Jesus said to his disciples, "Be watchful, be alert. You do not know when the time will come. It's like a man traveling abroad. He leaves home and places his servants in charge, each with his own work, and orders the gatekeeper to be on watch. Watch, therefore. You do not know when the Lord of the house is coming, whether in the evening or at midnight, or at cockcrow or in the morning. May he not come suddenly and find you sleeping. What I say to you, I say to all. Watch." The Gospel of the Lord. The command to watch is expressed here 3 times in this very brief parable to emphasize the need for Christians then and today, all of us, to be ready at all times because we just don't know when the Lord of the house will return. Of course, here the Lord of the house is Jesus, the Christ. It's important to remember that as we prepare for Advent, we pay attention that Advent is a time of preparation for Christmas, but Advent is a preparation to welcome Jesus in his definite and last coming to us. This is not a preparation to receive a little baby Jesus. If we are in preparation and watchful to find a baby coming our way, you're going to be disappointed when you don't find one, when you miss the one that comes. The one that comes is not a baby. The one that comes is actually the bridegroom. It's Jesus coming for the very last time. We could almost say that Advent is not a time to prepare to welcome Christ again, but to prepare ourselves to be welcomed into the mystery of Christ again. So this is very important. Jesus has already come to us. He has already been born in Bethlehem. He has already died and is seated at the right hand of the Father. It's very clear that we're not preparing ourselves to welcome Jesus in a particular way. In the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 28, Jesus says to us, "I will be with you always, even unto the end of the world." And in the book of Revelation, chapter 21, we read, "And I heard a loud voice from the throne saying, Look, God's dwelling place is now among people, and he will dwell with them. They will be his people, and God himself will be with them, and he will be their God." So Jesus is already with us. He's already among us and with us. Advent is a time for us to prepare to assimilate and accept this reality. Advent is a time for us to assimilate and accept the powerful presence of Jesus in our midst, and allowing him to prepare us for his final coming to us, so that then we are welcomed into the mystery of who Christ is. The word time used in the gospel is more than just a chronological time. It's a very special time. It's an uncommon time. It's a very unique time, a special time above all other time, not chronological time, but it's kairos time. The Greek word used here is kairos, and kairos is an uncommon time. And during this uncommon time, uncommon events happen. Something out of the ordinary happens during kairos time. And this is why we are asked 3 times to be watchful and to keep watch, to be ready, because this uncommon time and this special time and this uncommon event, this special event, will certainly come to us unannounced, and we must be ready to welcome it at any time. For us believers, life is found between these 2 times, the now and the not yet, the ordinary time and that uncommon kairos time that we are awaiting. We are not to wait idle for the owner to return, but we are to fulfill our responsibilities of the household continuously and faithfully until that special time comes. Notice that every work that we're asked to do is for the household, is for the house of God, and for one another, because the owner's not there. We are called to serve those who are in our house, which are our brothers and sisters. One servant, the gatekeeper, is singled out and to be told to be on watch. He is the one that is responsible for everyone in the household. Notice that not much is said about the owner of the house. We're not told who he is or where he's going or where he's coming from or why he's going away, because he's not the main character of the story. The main subject of the story, of this gospel story, and the season of Advent, is the uncertainty that surrounds his return and the vigilance that we are called to have and that is required of us as servants as we wait for his return. The 4 periods of time that are listed in the gospel story, midnight, cockcrow, and dawn, evening, midnight, cockcrow, and dawn, were the 4 watches of the night for the military. Like soldiers or people defending this house, we are called to be attending guard. Christians and us are told to stand watch and not to be caught asleep. Nighttime sleep represents darkness, and it's in the nighttime sleep in the darkness when we are not aware or alert is when we give the opportunity to the enemy to come. It's at night that the enemy plants deceit, plants confusion, plants all these wrong things that ruins our fields, our house. It's when the enemy breaks in is when we are not aware. So we are called to be aware and to be sober. Hopeful believers do not wait idly. In the gospel story, the servants are responsible for the work of the household. And Paul reminds us in the second reading that the Christian community, that we have all the gifts and talents that we need in order to live faithfully in this world, awaiting the coming of the day of the Lord. And we too, filled with expectations, do everything in preparation for the day of release, the day of our freedom, the day of the Lord's return, the day in which every promise will be fulfilled. And lastly, we must be vigilant for justice, faithful to the promises, and with compassionate care to those who are suffering, to those who are lamenting to God. And as trustees of the one who is coming, we live in this in-between time of expectations and of hope, as light as represented in our first candle of Advent. God bless you.